An interesting thing is when I was born, my mother took me up to the altar and laid me on the altar and gave me to the Lord and said, you know, I'm going to give you Lorna, and that her life would glorify you, you know, and use her in your work. I grew up in the church all my life, you know, vacation Bible schools, church Sunday night, Wednesday night. And then my parents' marriage broke up.
Lorna Effler's father wasn't around, and her mother gave her a lot of freedom.
I was out and about all hours of the night. My home life was not at all going to church or anything like that. We had basically quit doing that.
Although Lorna loved art, she decided to major in business.
I thought I would like to go into the business world and manage possibly bands and go into the entertainment field. I just wanted to dive right into that type of lifestyle.
A lifestyle that had too much of everything, including drugs.
Some days during that time, especially in my early 20s, it would have gotten to the point where we would just do drugs for days. Always a time of just wanting more. You just wanted more of that. You couldn't get enough of it. It would seem like it was never, you were never satisfied. And so you just would get up the next day, go for it again, go for it again, go for it again. There was many times that I shouldn't have made it through, and I did. I wanted a purpose, and none of that gave me a purpose. And after the hangovers, after coming down, after doing everything, and ending up with Lorna at the end of the day, I was so unhappy with myself. I didn't like myself at all. I hated myself, actually. And I used to think, I wish that I could die.
Lorna thought back to her childhood. She realized that a relationship with God was the only way out of her despair. She started watching the 700 Club. But for a long time, nothing changed.
I continued watching the 700 Club, continued saying the sinner's prayer, but going on and living my life. And then one Sunday morning after a weekend of just heavy partying, I woke up filled with so much anxiety and so much fear that I thought, I've got to get to church. If I don't get to church, I'm going to die. I felt like the Lord was getting ready to take his hand off me. Some people say his hand's always on you. I felt like in my heart that God was saying, Lorna, I've called you over and over and over through the years. I've protected you. I'm lifting my hand, and you're going to be on your own. I got to church as fast as I could, as bad as I felt. And when they had the altar call, I went up and I rededicated my life to the Lord. I was carrying the heaviest burden in the world. It was just like a sack full of rocks with another one connected and another one connected and another one. It was unbelievable how much baggage I was carrying of guilt and shame and everything else. And after I left there and gave my life back to the Lord, it was just like somebody had taken scissors and clipped that off my back. And I walked out of there and I wasn't physically sick anymore. I was full of peace. I felt like I was walking about 3 inches off the ground. And I just felt lightheaded. And I completely lost my desire just for that lifestyle. I used to have such a strong urge for that lifestyle. Just everything about it, I just couldn't imagine not living that lifestyle. I just didn't have that urge at all anymore for those things, for things of the world. It was just gone.
When God took away Lorna's desire for her old way of life, he replaced it with another desire, one she'd given up long ago.
In the beginning of doing my art, I really got involved with doing wildlife art. And then after I gave my life back to the Lord, I asked him one morning during my Bible study, Lord, if there's anything you'd like me to paint, just tell me, because I want to do what you created me to do. And I went back to reading my Bible, and he began to give me visions of paintings right then. And he continues to give them to me today. I finally found my purpose, so that was my purpose. He basically told me that he wanted me to have an art ministry and to call it Revelation Art. My life now is completely different than it used to be. So, God does know what will make you happy and what he created you for, and it is a void there. There is a void there in you that is only for you and that only God can fill in you.